Alright guys, this is that 2008 Chevy Cobalt. Trying to fix it and get it out of the way. And show you a few things. This thing's just rotted out along the bottom. Needs rockers. We've had a problem with the transmission. Lost all forward gears. I was thinking we lost one of the shift solenoids until I had someone tell me to check apart. Because on these, shift solenoids are on the side, but this is where your transmission pan's at. They're all 8mm bolts, and there's a set of tubes. I should have showed you if I took them out. I didn't know how much of a pain in the butt it was going to be. But I'll show you the tubes up there. And apparently on the Cobalt and the HHR, they are prone for cracking. And I'll show you what we ran into. I'm glad. I'm getting too old for this stuff. Glad I found out about this before taking the transmission practically halfway out to do it. But you can see how these tubes, it sits up in there. Sits just like this. This would be like if you're looking up from the bottom, it sits just like this. Sets in, your fuel pressure runs, your transmission fluid runs through it, builds your pressure up. Apparently where, I think it's this one, where these, they're kind of like cheesy put together from the manufacturer, which in this case is GM. On this one, they told me to take this off and look for cracks. And so it'd be really noticeable, which you can see on this one. You know, it is hit. Now, the other thing is when you take it off, each hole has the rubber seals in them. Yeah, there it is. So you want to make sure all the rubber seals are in there. So the smart thing to do is to buy a new one. But when you're poor like me, you got to find different alternatives. So it's a transmission clutch band lube oil pipe is what it's technically called, and they are not cheap. Cheapest one I found was of a company that I've never, even the one I've carried.com, $118.78 for them little tubes. It's not counting the shipping. Found a used set on eBay for $50, and hell, I can go to my local junkyard and get them cheaper than that. So I'm going to try this first and see if this works. And if it works, kudos for me. If not, then I'll have to get a new set. But what we're going to try is some quick set JB Weld. I've used this stuff to hold all kinds of stuff that's been under pressure, so I'm sure this transmission, these little lines, it's going to hold them, but I'll get it mixed up. We'll get it put on and see what the outcome looks like. But me personally, it's if it wasn't my personal vehicle, I wouldn't be doing this, so I wouldn't recommend doing this. But when you're broke, you're kind of out of alternatives, so we'll get this mixed up and get it on there, and we'll take a look at it. Alright, here we go. We got the quick set JB Weld on it, and so the smart thing to do while you have it out is I'm going to wait till, I should have checked before I put that on, but to check the rest of them. I know when I had it off, it was the only one I could feel loose, and supposedly it's a common problem with it, and you'll be able to tell. If you get one that's loose, you'll know it, especially when you're unbolting them. So you only got, like this side will have two, and you got one here and one here. It comes straight out. Once you remove the transmission filter, and it comes straight out. Everything's fully accessible. So you do what you got to do when you're broke, and I definitely don't have the extra money for this right now, being $100 and some, and so we're going to try it out. It's a quick set JB Weld, but I'm going to go ahead and let it set overnight, make sure it's real good and hardened, and then we'll throw it back in and see what we got. So in this one's case, my daughter was driving it and lost all forward momentum, just straight lost everything. It was full transmission fluid. The fluid was still nice pink like it should be, and I thought it lost one of the forward shift solenoids. And was getting ready to do it because I got to get this car fixed and out of my way because my truck is behind it. And somebody happened to tell me about this, and sure enough, pulled the pan off, got the filter out of the way to where I could see it real good, and started check this side first. All the tubes were tight. Got to this one, the tubes are tight, and there's the very last tube I checked, which was the one, you know, the one that was broke. Is the very last one I checked. I felt movement in it, and took it off, and sure enough, it was unhooked. I mean, they're not very secure to begin with, and looks like some kind of cheesy brazing or something that they have on them, but they're not very secure at all. So the rest of them look good, so I'm hoping that's the issue, and we'll find out once it gets set up. We'll throw it back together, get some fluid in it and a new filter, and see what we got. Alright guys, here we go. I don't know how well you can see, but there's our little hack job. This sets up. You gotta make sure you put this in before you put your new filter and stuff in. So it sets. The tube we blew was right there. So it sets in just like that. So you got a screw there, one there, and then I believe two on that side. It's all 8mm. The pan bolts are 8mm, so you gotta get this in before you put your new, you know, filter on it and everything. So I'll get this buttoned up in here, and we'll get the pan on it and get some fluid in it, and we'll see if our little hack job with JB Weld holds up. Alright, kind of hard to see. I don't have much room, but we got the pans back on, and you know why it's yellow? That is tractor yellow, because it's guaranteed to make it work. But the problem we do have, you can see back here, some moron tried to steal the catalytic converter off of this while it was setting. So if we get this dude fired up, it's going to be loud. So what we got left now is to get the fluid in it. And then according to O Reilly's, it is 6.97 quarts. Oh, so we'll just call it 7 quarts. And in case you guys don't know where it's at, you need a long funnel, and it's right down where your line, your AC line's coming down, straight down. Oh crap! I'm breaking my neck. Oh, if I can pick it up. Right down there where you see that little green seedling at, it's right on top of it. You reach right down through there, and that's where your fill hole is. According to O'Reilly, is at 6.97 quarts, so we're just going to go ahead and do 7 quarts. And see if we got a part number here. There's our part number. FK-292. It's a Fram filter, FT1166. Cheapest one they had is $21.99, but it comes with everything you need as far as filter and gasket's concerned. Yeah, filter, gasket, new rubber O-ring. But that'll do it. We'll see if we'll get that out. See, it's just a little plug. It unscrews. Get your long funnel down in there. Alright, we're ready to start feeding the beast. Alright, I'll get these quarts of fluid put in. That fluid is not cheap, man. It's cheapest one they had was the O'Reilly's fluid. It was $7.49 a quart. Takes 7 quarts, so you can kind of do the math on that. But I'll get this fluid in here and we'll see if we'll get her going. So this thing had no forward gears, so we're going to see. We'll see what happens. See if our little trick worked. Alright guys, it's going to be the moment of truth. See if we got any forward gears here. See if our little JB Weld trick worked. This thing is going to be loud. had reverse, but just wanted to make sure it's going into gear. Alright, let's see what we got. There it is. Alright, so it was that tube. Shut this thing off, I can't hear nothing. So it was that tube that we fixed with the JB Weld. Oh, excuse me, which I was saying I don't recommend doing that. If you know, to each their own. For me, I'm broke, so it was an easy fix. I was trying to show you guys where that spot was at for the. Yeah, it's too dark in here to see it, but it's. You see where your oil cap is? You come straight over, and then straight down beside that rubber line. You can reach right in there and grab it and unscrew it with your fingers. It's a little tight, but you should be able to get it. You take it out, and you got to have a long tube funnel to go down and fill it up. 6.97 quarts. I just put 7 in it, and but. I was saying, I don't reckon, you know, it's if you got the money, buy the proper part. I know Carrot, cheapest I found it was online was carrot.com, and it was $118 some change plus shipping, and I just can't afford to do that right now. So next best option, JB Weld. So now I got to get the exhaust is unhooked. I don't know if you can see it back here or not, from the exhaust manifold all the way back to was that the resonator or whatever it is back there. Some moron tried to steal the catalytic converter off of it. They had it unbolted underneath and part way unbolted up top. They almost had it. So I gotta get it all bolted back up, get the O2 sensors plugged back in, and this thing's ready to go for a few more miles. That and find some tires that aren't baloney skins. But that'll do it, guys. Thanks for watching. This goes for, this motor's actually out of a HHR. It was replaced before I bought it. Got a junkyard motor on it. But so it's the HHR and the Cobalt, same way. Easy fix. You know, just drop your pan, get the filter out. Then you got the bolts, the 2 on the one side, and the other 2 ends have 1 each. Drop your tubes out, either buy new ones or do what you want to do and throw it back in, and then put your filter in, your pan, gasket, and fluid. You should be ready to rock and roll. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps someone out. It's a win for me, but like I was saying, I don't recommend doing it unless you're in a pinch.